Before we begin this podcast, please be advised that the following episode contains language that some listeners may find offensive and inappropriate. The opinions expressed by the host and guests are their own and do not reflect the views of the podcast producers. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to the final installment of this episode about Stanley Kenaga Jr. and the tragic loss of life in the murder of Barbara Lynn. Last time, Stanley described the shocking events of the night, and now we rejoin him as he describes the immediate aftermath of what truly happened on this episode of Voices of a Killer.
I asked you about your child and stuff, and you're not like some kind of violent person, but why would you not stop somebody from killing a 77-year-old woman?
I was in shock. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Was he stomping really hard and trying to kill her?
From what I could tell, yes.
Was she trying to beg for him to stop or anything?
No.
How long did he do that for?
A couple minutes.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, and it was. I still have nightmares.
You do?
Yeah.
After that couple minutes of him doing that, what was the next step? Now she's basically passed away. Did y'all start really ransacking the house?
Yeah. What I told him was, since that just happened, we've got to at least find the money.
So did y'all start searching around the same room that she was dead in?
She was in the hallway.
She was in the hallway. Did you ever, was she struggling or anything to stay alive, or she was just completely out?
She was just out.
That must have been really creepy to be searching around her house with a lady dead like that.
It was.
Did y'all find the money?
No.
Wow. So basically,
you have 1 minute left.
Pretty much, yes.
Wow. How'd you take that in there?
I didn't take it too well. I broke my hand.
How'd you break your hand?
I punched the wall.
Yeah. Did you ever ask him after he stomped her head, like, why did you do that? We didn't have to do that, or you just rode with it?
I just tried to forget it. I didn't bring it up. He didn't bring it up.
How much time did he get, Joseph?
He got 20 years.
20 years. Why did he get less time?
24 years.
Why did he get less time?
I have no clue. I wish I knew. I'm in the process of trying to appeal my case right now so I can get out one day.
Has any of her family or friends come down on you?
At my last court case, they had letters they wrote, and they just read to me.
What did the letter say?
That they don't understand why we did what we did, and they knew the drugs were involved and stuff like that, and that they hope that I get right with God.
You weren't able to read it? Somebody had to read it to you?
Yeah, actually, they read it in the court out loud.
Oh, okay. So this happened in court, not while you're in prison?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Whenever y'all left there with all this stuff, where's the first place you went?
We went directly back to my house.
What was the discussion like? You know, y'all just ransacked the house, killed a 77-year-old lady, and now you're back with just monetary stuff that's not worth a life.
I honestly tried to I didn't want to think about it because it was fucking with me already at what had just happened. And so I took it upon myself to go back to the house and set it on fire to try to make sure that there was nothing to lead back to us.
Okay. So did Joseph go with you to set the fire?
No.
How did you set the fire? Did you bring gas with you? What did you do?
I had gasoline and lighter fluid mix.
And did you go right back through the back door again?
I actually went through the front door this time because when we left, we went through the front door. We left out the front door. And I left it unlocked.
So whenever you walked in, did you go and check on the lady one last time, or did you just start throwing gas?
No, she was in the hallway. I came into the front door into the living room. I sprayed the gas mix on the couch and on the wall and set it on fire and left. I didn't want to I just didn't want to look at the body again.
Whenever you set that stuff on fire, did it catch pretty quick and start burning really fast?
Yeah.
Did the whole house burn down?
The front room, the kitchen, the hallway, and one of the bedrooms burned. But the whole house didn't burn.
Did she pass away with whatever that was in her hand?
Yes.
What was it?
I don't remember.
Okay. You think it was a weapon?
I don't know if it was a weapon or what it was.
Okay. So after you lit it on fire, where'd you go after that?
I went back home.
Did you go to sleep that night?
No, I went back home and used a bunch of meth.
How long after this fire did you get questioned by the police or arrested?
I think it happened the 2nd, and I got arrested the 15th.
The senseless nature of this crime is truly baffling. Joseph and Stanley were confronted by a now awake Barbara Lynn when they returned to her house, and in the panic, they began to brutally assault her. But why didn't Stanley stop Joseph from stomping on her? Was it shock that rendered him powerless, or something deeper? A sense of obligation or protection for his younger accomplice? Stanley later admits to covering for Joseph, taking the blame in an effort to shield him from harsher punishment. But what was his true motive for this? Did he feel responsible for leading Joseph into this situation, or was it a futile attempt to preserve a fractured bond? Stanley's decision to return to the crime scene and set the house on fire only raises more questions. Why take such extreme measures to cover up the crime? Was it guilt, fear, or simply a desperate attempt to erase the horrifying events of that night? After setting the fire, Stanley recounts how he used meth in an attempt to cope with the reality of what had transpired. But his troubles were far from over, as he was arrested within days of the crime.
How'd they know it was you?
Because me and my brother-in-law got into an argument, and he called the law and told them that I killed somebody.
Wow.
And, yeah.
Wow. And he tried to act like it wasn't him, it was you?
Yep.
So whenever he called, what was the argument about to make him do that?
Because I wouldn't go get him heroin. Because I was trying to get him off of heroin. That's why I was giving him meth.
Wow. So he gets mad and calls the police on you?
Yeah.
Did you know he was going to call and tell them?
No.
So where were you when the police showed up?
I was at my house.
Did they have a search warrant, or they just knocked and you came to the door?
They came to the house and they said they asked if they could search the house for stolen property. I told them they could because I didn't know there was anything still there. But apparently Joe, before he left, he put the computer in my room, in my closet. And whenever he called the cops and told them that I did it, he told them where the computer was and where I sold the guitar and the camera at.
I wonder if Joseph was trying to, not only because you wouldn't get him heroin, but also he knew that somebody was going to get caught and trying to throw him off the trail so he didn't get caught, you think?
I don't know what he was thinking. All I know is he told.
So whenever they found all the stuff, they arrested you. Did you deny it?
No. I told them that it was me because I was trying to protect Joseph. I didn't know that he was the one that told.
Gotcha.
If I would have known that he was the one that told, I would have told the truth.
But you told him you killed her?
Yes.
Now I see why Joseph got the lighter end of the stick, because he called the police. So at least of course he didn't say, hey, I did it, but he informed them. Do you think you would have got away with it if he wouldn't have ever called?
Actually, would have got away with it because they had already said that she died from a house fire. And
so they had claimed that she had died from the house fire, not from being beat.
Yes.
So did her body burn? Because if they stomped on her head, then you'd be able to tell she must have burned or something, right?
From what I've seen when they showed me the pictures, was she got burnt a little bit, but there was a lot of debris and the ceiling had fallen on her.
Gotcha. How did that make you feel looking at that picture?
Actually, it bothered me. I still have nightmares, and I see the pictures, and I replay what Joe did. And I know that's something I'm going to have to deal with the rest of my life.
So how long after that did Joseph get arrested?
I got arrested on the 15th, and then he went after he told them that after he talked to them, I got arrested, and then it was a couple days later they were looking for him. A couple days later they picked him up.
So did you tell him that you killed the lady, but he was with you?
Yes.
Okay. So you pled,
But
you took a plea
I didn't
deal?
have to tell him that.
Yeah.
I didn't have to tell them about Joe because they already knew that Joe was there. Because they told me what I told them before I ever told them anything.
Gotcha. How did they know he was there?
I have no clue.
Do you have any appeals left?
Actually, right now, I'm in the process of an appeal right now.
Which one is it?
I don't know, other than Joe telling them.
After the brutal killing of 77-year-old Barbara Lynn, Stanley confessed to the crime, believing he was shielding Joseph, despite the fact that Joseph had already turned him in. Stanley admits he didn't know Joseph was the one who informed the police, providing them with crucial evidence, such as the stolen items hidden in Stanley's home. This false sense of loyalty likely fueled Stanley's decision to take full responsibility for the murder, leading to his life sentence without the possibility of parole. Stanley's case progressed through the legal system with little leniency. After his arrest, the law pursued him with a strong case, especially given his confession and the evidence tying him directly to the crime scene. In contrast, Joseph received a lighter sentence, around 24 years, due to his cooperation with authorities, though both men were heavily implicated in the crime. The court initially determined that Barbara Lynn had died in the house fire that Stanley set in an attempt to destroy evidence. However, further investigation revealed the true nature of her death: blunt force trauma caused by the violent assault she endured. Stanley is currently in the process of an appeal, hoping to revisit the details of his case. But what motivates someone to take such a drastic step to protect another, even in the face of overwhelming evidence? Was Stanley's loyalty worth the life sentence he received?
So now you got a murder charge, and you're sitting in jail. Did they tell you you're facing the death penalty?
Yes.
And did they say you got to take a plea to get the death penalty off the table?
Yes.
And that plea was life without?
Yep.
How do you feel about the choice you made on that?
Honestly, I wish I wasn't even here. But I know even if I took the lethal injection, I would still be setting for a long time. And the only reason why I took the life without was because my dad told me, he begged me to take it that way. As long as he was alive, he'd still be here for me.
Yeah.
And we didn't expect him to die as soon as he did.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's God's way of punishing me.
You think God's punishing you?
Yeah. Why wouldn't he? I deserve to be punished for the part that I had.
Do you think you deserve life without parole?
No. I believe that I deserve at least 20 to 15 to 20 years. I deserve to sit in prison and do some time because of what I did do and my involvement, and I didn't stop it. But I don't think that I should spend the rest of my life in prison and die here.
So you love your dad, right?
I do love my dad.
If we could just reverse the roles and some random person broke into your dad's house, somebody stomped his head, and then somebody lit the house on fire, do you still think they should be 15 to 20?
They deserve to go to prison. But I don't believe that taking another person's life would be any good at it. It wouldn't be.
You're Christian?
Yes.
You've ever heard an eye for an eye, right?
Yeah.
You don't believe that?
In a way, I do, but at the same time, it's like they're going to have to spend a significant amount of time in prison, away from their family and everything. And prison's not easy.
As we reflect on the tragic death of Barbara Lynn and the actions of Stanley, we're left with a complicated picture of a man who was shaped by trauma, poor decisions, and loyalty to the wrong people. Stanley's life began in turmoil, facing severe childhood abuse, neglect, and violence. These early traumas undoubtedly had a profound effect on his psyche, potentially leading to the actions that followed later in life. But were these factors alone responsible for his fateful decisions? Stanley's loyalty to his brother-in-law, Joseph Proffer, seems to have been a driving force behind his actions. The question that lingers is why Stanley chose to protect Joseph, even at the cost of his own freedom. From the moment Stanley and Joseph broke into Barbara Lynn's house, it seems clear that Joseph was the instigator. He came to Stanley with the plan, claiming there was a large sum of money inside, and it was Joseph who initiated the deadly assault on Barbara Lynn. Yet, despite this, Stanley tried to shield Joseph, taking responsibility for the crime and providing the police with a false confession. Was this loyalty misguided, or was it rooted in a deeper desire to protect someone who didn't deserve it? While Joseph may have received a lighter sentence, 20 to 24 years compared to Stanley's life without parole, it is clear from Stanley's words that he now regrets the choice to cover for him. Looking back, Stanley struggles with the idea that he took the fall for a man who didn't share the same sense of loyalty. The consequences were dire, and Stanley acknowledges that while he deserves to be punished for his role, he doesn't believe life without parole is a fair sentence for his part in the crime. In the eyes of the law, however, both men were held accountable for their actions. Stanley was charged with first-degree murder, burglary, and arson, while Joseph was sentenced for second-degree murder. The legal system viewed their involvement in Barbara Lynn's death as heinous, with no room for leniency. Stanley's choice to accept a plea deal to avoid the death penalty was largely influenced by his father, a figure he cherished deeply, who begged him to take the deal so they could still have time together. Ironically, his father passed away not long after Stanley was sentenced, adding another layer of pain to his already tumultuous life. As Stanley reflects on his life, he expresses remorse and feels that God is punishing him for his actions. He grapples with his faith and the idea of justice, torn between believing in the concept of an eye for an eye and recognizing the futility of taking another person's life in retribution. Now in prison for life, he contemplates whether his decision to protect Joseph was worth the cost. The tragic irony is that in attempting to shield someone, Stanley lost his freedom, his family, and his future. Was it worth it? In Stanley's own words, it seems clear that it was not. After the break, I'll let Stanley have the final word, and we'll find out how he really feels about Joseph.
It's a hard life to live.
Yeah. How does that make you feel knowing you're going to probably die in prison?
It sucks. It hurts.
Have you ever tried to kill yourself in there?
No.
You ever think about it?
I have thought about it.
Do you see people kill themselves in there quite often?
I've never seen nobody kill themselves, but from what I hear, it does happen.
Yeah. So how's your... Do it?
I can't bring myself to do it.
Yeah. Do you see a lot of overdoses in there?
I haven't seen none personally. I've heard about them.
Are you in protective custody?
No.
Do you get in fights in there?
No.
How do you avoid that?
I just haven't had to yet. I'm sure I will at some point.
How long have you been in there?
I've been here in Jeff City for going on 3 months. And then I did 7 months in St. Joe.
Okay. So you really haven't been in there long?
No.
You're probably still just getting a feel for how everything works.
Yeah.
Are you in a bad housing unit where it's dangerous?
No, I'm a decent housing unit. It's not really dangerous here.
Yeah. Is your co-defendant Joseph Proffer, is he in the same prison as you?
No.
What would that be like if you did get in the same prison as him?
I don't know. I can't say that.
Do you have animosity towards him?
Do what?
Do you have animosity towards him?
Yes.
Yeah. Stanley, I appreciate you reaching out to me. It's a pretty difficult story to listen to. A 77-year-old woman. Bad stuff happens whenever people do drugs, and especially whenever they need more drugs. Definitely a problem we have in this country, but I appreciate you opening it up to me and hope everything works out the way it should.
All right.
On the next episode of Voices of a Killer.
What would make you kill your best friend?
He said that he was going to drug my wife. I asked him, what the hell are you fucking doing? This is fucking bullshit. He acted like he didn't know what to say or what to do. He kept saying he was going to make it better. He was going to change it.
So
he was going to try to get my wife.
You just saw red, didn't you?
Yeah.
You went tunnel vision and killed the guy.
Yeah. Plus, I was on meth, too. Smoking meth, too. Which doesn't help anything. I wish I can go back and change it.
I bet you do.
I want to thank Stanley for sharing his story with us today. His ability to be open and honest is what makes this podcast so special. That's a wrap on this episode of Voices of a Killer. A big shout out to Sonic Futures, who handled the production, audio editing, music licensing, and promotion of this podcast. If you want to hear more episodes like this one, make sure to visit our website at voicesofakiller.com. There you can find previous episodes, transcripts, and additional information about the podcast. Lastly, if you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Your feedback helps us improve and reach new listeners. Thank you for your support, and we can't wait to share more stories with you in the future. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Toby, and we'll see you next time on Voices of a Killer.